So what does Bill Gates, what does the 1% want? 99%. Thank you, Russell. And yeah, this helps a ton. So I don't know how you want to do it. Okay. In response, this is a question that is apparently going on both sides of the earth. I just think that we are the next experiment after all the experiments that happened in Eurasia. And now it looks like they're moving on to Africa here, which scares me because I'm the type of person who, hey, if somebody gives me, like a red flag, I like acknowledge it, I'll recognize it, but I just trust my heart, and I just put myself out there and go. And yeah, it ends up just being like a scammer from like Nigeria or something. When it first started happening when I was a teenager, just using the internet, like, yeah, I was just like, oh my gosh, like what? That's weird. Why? Like it was just weird that like I just catfishing wasn't a term then, but like it was just that. Like I was like the first like, test subject on like what catfishing like felt like. And I was just like, oh my gosh. Like, and then, that's like a teenager. I grow up through college and stuff like that. So I really, like started just using the internet for not school purposes, but I just used it to just download all the songs that I've just like loved, just through all the like skate videos that I would watch, like, but you'd have to like buy the entire album then, but I only wanted like one song. And so kids today just get like to pick tracks and stuff like that. So I look at like, my generation just looking at just how much better or different the younger generation from me has got it. And it's just like, man, that's such like that's such a convenience. But then, one of my other brothers, Slug just said, like, but like growing up then, like that was part of an experience. So I'm like at a point where he like helped me. Like one of my mentors, he told me like, just yeah, you can't just dissect that because then you're just gonna get lost and whatever. Just accept that. Just try to watch them and see how it affects them, and like essentially just use your experience to compare it to them. But don't be like that person, like when I was younger, like I walked uphill to school and then uphill back home. And I'm just like, like, it didn't sound like you had that hard of a life. It just sounded like you just, I don't know, like, why would you just walk? The logic of that just didn't make sense to me when my dad would tell me until I found out in South Korea, where he lived as a teenager, he had to bury his younger brother, my uncle Ikte's twin brother. They were born twins, but the twin ended up dying like I guess after they were born, and it's tradition, and I'm sure in Hindu culture and especially in India and stuff like that, like just there's a lot of respect that's embedded in the generations below that I see like just comes from like the faith. It's just I haven't really just gotten into like Hinduism and all that stuff, but I know it's got some direct correlation to Judaism and just like that whole history line. So, I mean, like I said, I was already working on this, so it feels like I was already connected, so that's great. But essentially, it's just I don't know how to say it, but like Russ, I told you like there's like a Squid Game going on. Like I realize now, like we're like the Squid Game, but like like we the people of this earth with the light in us, like we can't let ourselves, like we're the gateway to like being the bridge to that 1%, because we're like in that little like it's I call it like contraceptive share where it's just 99.99%, so it's just like within this like 0 1%, like we're this zero, okay, like we are the gatekeeper here, Russ. Like other people up here, yes, it's like the Bill Gates and the 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 M's, the BGs, the Jeff Bezos, just these guys. As far as just in reference to colonialism and just like capitalism and just economy, it's a carrot on the stick for humans just to see what drives us, and I'm just working, just I don't know, I mean I could just do it anyway, but like this way is great, so I'm so grateful that like you reached out this way. But yeah, I mean like this question just off that little clip that you sent, just what does Bill Gates want? What does that 1% want? Like they're not pushing the 1% down, or the 99.99. It's not the one within the 1%. Yeah. So it's just like it breaks down this way too. So the more it breaks down within the 99%, then okay, we got the white, the black, the brown. But it's like, yeah, and then racism. And it's just so many different percentages. Once we break away from just 100%, and like 100% this way, this, like, I tell jokes about how, like, being Asian, like, everybody thinks I'm good at math, and they just, like, laugh when I tell them, like, I'm 100% Korean and I'm 100% American. And that makes me 100% American. And they're just like, I don't know. I don't think it got that big of a laugh. But it's just like my comedy on stage was just like therapy. Just because like the laughter felt so good, just to like put out like my logic and just be like, I don't, it doesn't make sense, but that's how I would describe myself. I'm not like Asian American or anything like that. And I would just answer honestly, like I did with your survey, and I hope that was what kind of opened the door. So like again, like as the gatekeeper here, we're like, it's our job to just, hey, keep the light in them. Look, I saw that you were like losing people on this, which is, hey, thank you for taking the leap of faith and just saying what is for the greater good. So, just an example, just something simple like that. Just standing up for something like a bigger cause that they don't even understand. Like, and just how quickly they just like leave you. That's what comedy just like broke me. Like, just the fans that I made, but like I was like, oh, friends. But then I had to redefine like my friends category. It just like kept like breaking. It just everything just keeps breaking up like this, and I just noticed this pattern, and I'm just like so good at seeing patterns. I guess I don't know. Like I'm just drawing in just like hieroglyphics or something. I don't know. I would love to see just like an actual hieroglyphic and just see if I could like read it out. But I mean, I was looking at some and it's just symbols. Like I got the plant here for water, like, and no offense to like your your belief or your I don't mean to offend any of this, but it's just here in America after the Korean War, the American experiment was just that. If Russ, you were talking about just like the beginning of like the whole, like the English versus the Soviet, like it was just that communism versus, I guess, parliament, and that's where it gets broken down. It's just a different clash of beliefs. So ultimately, it's all like the Bible said, depending on what part of, again, we'll go into that later. But just please don't think that they're not looking out for you guys. Like, why wouldn't you think that they care about you? Like, do you just hate yourself that much that you just think that they don't care about you? Like, God loves everybody because God is love. Like, these men, like, they got to where they are because they are who they are. That's all I can say. And if you are looking up at them like, oh, you're just holding me down, it's like, that's a great way for me to just kind of set an example of how like parents of our Eastern Asian culture, where it's just like, yes, you have to like honor your parents, your elders, and stuff like that. There was a buddy I met on YouTube who he was dressed like a terrorist kind of. I don't know. He had the big like Muslim beard, but I looked into it and it was a story about him in India, and it was like a case where he was suing his parents, who were ironically lawyers themselves, both of them. And the lawsuit was for bringing him into this world against his will. And clearly, this is just like a propaganda, like, hey, it's time to wake up, mom and dad. Like India needs to progress. I say like, there's two types of people. There's some that just trust in the process and they know, and the others just know it's a process. Like it's just, is it a progress or is it a progress? Just the language that we speak. Like we were all one. We came here, like you said, Gaia. I was looking up Pangea, my last name. Pang, like these signs. I just have seen these signs. And like I said, remember the 5th of November. Like, so I apologize to all of you guys. Like, I really truly know I am like the chosen one to explain and just help everybody like come together and get ready for that world that's ready for us right there. Because yeah, I think we've pretty much just killed this planet. But luckily, men like them already had a backup plan, just like my father did when, like he had me. So when he told me we are part of the 1%, I was like, oh, that's awesome. Like, I mean, I already felt like very humble and like lucky that, like, I don't know. This is just like are you like 1 to 10? It's just like, what does this mean I'm the 1%. This is okay. Yeah, I'm the 1% that seems like just very fortunate. And my state, my country, the world, like everybody who meets, like just I'm just very, very like blessed, And I realize it's because, I was like saying like I'm the second coming of Jesus Christ. It's like my dad was like Jesus Christ. He came to this country from the east and just took care of so many people, because when he came here at 19, so many people took care of him and mentored him and guided him and loved him enough to just support his dream, which was to bring my mom out here and have a family and just, I guess, like fulfill a prophecy or something. I don't know. I'm still working this like thing out. But again, like the system isn't broken. It's how we are looking at the system and then not realizing, yo, we got to fix this now. I was going through American history. Like certain acts were just put in for just a couple years, just to kind of clear everything out and just like, oh, let's think about it. Okay, do we still need it? It's not like, I don't know, like abortion here. It's just like pro-abortion, pro-life. It's just like, why does this need to be a law? Why are we all of a sudden just bringing this in to our business? Like, and it's because somebody ultimately just went away from God. Like they just didn't love themselves. And so they got to find a reason to just justify that or just deal with that. And so you get enough of those people, that's the light in them. That's why Albert Einstein said E equals MC squared. Like E equals MC squared. The theory of relativity. Like think about that. Like maybe we can talk about that next time. So just extinct, no, it's not extinct. We're just trying to find a way to coexist, seeing if there is a way, or maybe it's just like they just know that this is just, I watch Ancient Aliens all the time. It's just like, yeah, ultimately we want to like go to like the next planet, right? We just don't want to stay here. I mean, if we don't have to like get ourselves out of here like in an emergency evacuation, like, yeah, we'll stay here for a while, but like eventually we want to go see other worlds if that's possible. So it's just like, again, in India and that part, it's just the level of like, I don't know, economic growth. The economy that I've seen, I've never been there, but just off, I guess my visual of how I just imagine, it's just like an old school, like America. I don't know. I'll work on that. But it's just, this is all an experiment just to see how we're going to do it on the next world. And so I read the Bible, I finished it. It said, no one will add to this, no one will take away from this. You are the one, the beginning, the end, and it's time to write the new story. And so, like it's time to gather everybody. Like, I'm so fired up. I don't know. I don't know what's holding me back. I just would love like a direct contact if possible. But yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be out that way for maybe a couple. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm not going to say never, but thank you so much, my brother. Thank you for your opinion. I'll listen to the rest and just try to see if I can continue answering this. But remain blessed, guys, and just keep the light in your heart. Like, Gaia loves Gaia as the nature. It's just because we're killing Gaia doesn't mean we're supposed to be dying inside. That's not what she wants. So again, I'm trying to create a Pangea where we're all connected. Like we were that one continent, that supercontinent. We just need to be one supercontinent that's connected without being connected. Just across the pond, anywhere in the world we can go. No borders. Everybody is an American because an American just believes that we are all just one republic, one nation, under God, love, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This was the original, like, Jewish. Again, I'm working on my channel. Thank you for giving me the luminary one or the commune. Just thank you so much. I love you. And yeah, stay free. See you soon.